Hi guys, Amanda Hyde-Pierce here from Thrive OBM Academy. And for those who don't know me just yet, I am a certified online business manager, the first and so far the only UK-based trainer for the International Association of Online Business Managers. Now, my students are usually UK-based or EU-based, though in a moment, I'm going to introduce you to the wonderful Dijana, who has recently finished going through the Online Business Manager program with me. And I'm rather jealous to say she is in Bali. I mean, look how gorgeous that backdrop looks. So let's say hi to our lovely Dijana. Dijana, thank you so much for joining with me today.
Thank you, Amanda, and thank you for the introduction. I'm very excited and honored that I can do this with you.
Oh, I'm really happy to have the opportunity to chat with you and for others to hear about your experience so far of the Academy and of the program. So we've got a few questions that we're going to just go through, very short, very sweet. And so the first one is related to background. One of the things I get asked a lot of people who are perhaps thinking about doing the program is, do I have to be a virtual assistant before I can become a certified online business manager? Well, the answer is no. No, you don't, but you do need some kind of corporate experience at least. So that lends me to ask you, can you tell me a bit about your working background and if you were ever a VA or whether you joined the program purely with corporate experience?
Mm-hmm. So I have about 15 years of corporate consulting experience, focusing in the IT area, project management, and so on. And I've never been a VA, so I'm coming straight from corporate directly into the OBM program, which sounded very appealing to me also with my corporate background.
Yeah. And you know, it's about 50%. In fact, it's exactly at this date, it's exactly 50% of my students come directly from corporate and 50% have that VA background. And often I do hear VAs say, oh my goodness, I wish I just jumped straight over to OBM because I already had that experience that lent itself to the program. I just didn't know. So you're an example of that. So yeah, you have quite a few years experience in corporate. Yeah. Why did you choose to do the program with Thrive OBM Academy with me?
For me, what really helped me to make a decision was you were offering at the time like a 3-day Facebook Live, where you were sharing for about an hour each day about OBM and provided like some valuable insights. But at the same time, for me, it was like, okay, I had the chance to see you for an hour a day, to see how you operate. For me, at the end, exactly what you said, the content is the same, but I wanted to do it with someone where I felt the people fit was really good. Yeah. And after watching you like for 3 days in those lives, I was like, yes, I definitely wanna do it with her. So I really love that you showed yourself and exposed yourself and shared your knowledge and gave us the chance to get to know you better.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. Thank you. I do those lives quite frequently. I have another one coming up soon. So that's really good to know. Thank you. What about coming into the program? Did you have any reservations going into it?
Yes, because honestly, before I started the program, like 2 months before that, I didn't even know what an OBM was, right? That was entirely new for me. And especially with my corporate background, I wanted to transition instead of working 9 to 5, 40 plus hours a week into something a bit more online based. At the same time, I wanted to have a role where my skills and just frankly putting like intellectual stimulation is still there, and I could have projects that are at the level that I would like them to be. So I wasn't sure at the beginning. I was like, is that something similar like a VA thing? But obviously with those lives and the conversation we had, you made it clear that this is like a leadership position within the company that you're going to work for, which was very appealing and exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, it really is. You've hit the nail on the head. It's not like a virtual assistant. It's a management leadership position where you're partnering with business owners and and become a real confident and a source of expertise in their life, and being able to help them grow their business it's just an incredible honor. And this is what the program helps us do, to partner with other businesses out there and really show our expertise and drill into those skills that we perhaps already had in some part, but then also learn new ones again. And the satisfaction that OBMs get from that is just incredible. I feel very, very honored to be able to do this. What I did want to ask you about is your thoughts on how the program is delivered, the learning style. So as you know, each week we get access to a new session on the portal. We also have one-to-ones, there's resources, there's groups. So I want to really get your thoughts and your ideas about how the program is delivered, that learning style, how it worked for you.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that we had like content being kind of released once a week. So you kind of did what you had to do for a week. The timing was also great in terms of from when it was released until when we had our call. And for me, it was crucial to have those weekly one-on-one sessions, because honestly, I think all of us bought an online course at some point and they didn't finish it because there was no interaction, no support, and also accountability. Because I knew, oh, I'm gonna have a call with Amanda on Wednesday. let me go through my content and take my notes, because the one-on-one sessions were more about applying and discussing it. And sometimes, you know, you challenge us on the spot, like, okay, how would you do those things? And so it really made me step up and show up and do the homework, so to say. So I really loved this interactive accountability approach. And at the same time, you always shared your wisdom, being an OBM for a while now. Like, one is like the content and the theory, but you always shared like what's it like in the real world and what could be an example. So it was from black and white, it kind of put it a little bit more colorful and gave it a bit more context, which I enjoyed.
Yeah. And I just listened to you say there about, you know, we all buy these online courses, and sometimes I've been guilty of it as well. They sit there, you know, you start off with the best intentions and actually don't get around to finishing them. And each time, I know certainly for me, it's, I'm going to do it. But that's something I've heard before, especially of this one, you know, you have to show up. And if you show up, you have that accountability, you have the group. When you show up, big things happen, and you're an example of that. And I'll mention that in something on that in just in a little second. What are your thoughts on interaction with other students? You know, making friends or colleagues going forward for life. You know, have you made any friendships in there going forward?
So I was really blessed. I had a beautiful soul that I was paired up with, and we had like calls, the three of us, all together. And we hit it off very well, but especially there are capstone and certification week, like intensive period of time where we have to deliver something. Yes. I mean, we had daily catch-ups, and me and her to just support each other. On one hand, content-wise, like, how are you going to do this? And otherwise, like, emotionally, more like supporting, motivating, or letting each other vent, because obviously no one in my social circle knows what I'm talking about. So having someone, I'm sitting in Bali, she's in the UK, and still being so connected. And as you said, yes, I mean, she became a dear friend, and she will be by my side going forward when we start exploring the OBM real world. And it was fun, and it was so just closing it up. You have the online course, which is more dry material. Then we have the 101, which is more interactive. But then by being paired up with a person, you have this personal component where we keep each other accountable, support each other, and can really make friends in this new industry.
Yeah, and obviously I know who you're talking about, and your connection with this person is pretty special. It really is. And yeah, it's a great connection. Absolutely. So one of the things I wanted to touch on was actually when I was a student doing this program myself, because as a trainer, obviously I have to go through this and other things as well to get to be a licensed trainer. But when I was a student, I was one of the fortunate ones that was able to get my first OBM client before even finishing the program. Yes, it doesn't happen for everybody, but it does happen. And that's been true of you too, actually. And of course, we don't want to go into client specifics or breaking confidentiality, but are you able to share anything about that? Do you know how it feels to have your first client? I mean, it's a wonderful achievement, Dijana. It really is.
It is. Thank you. And it came to me without effort. So obviously my corporate role comes to an end in a couple of weeks, and I timed it with the OBM certification, and I was sharing that with my social circle. And at some point, a woman approached me, she's like, what is this OBM thing exactly? And then I share it, and obviously we learned so many terms and concepts. So it went quite fluent to share what it is about. And then at some point she's like, we need that in our organization. Yeah. And then we had an interview, and I made a little proposal where I could use the beautiful content that was provided in the certification. And yeah, I started, I think it's now a month ago. Wow. And it's amazing. And I'd like to say, to keep it real, I mean, one thing is having theory, and the other thing is like getting your hands dirty. And I was like, oh, this is not, okay.
This is real. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel very much prepared. You know, it was like with the documentation and also the templates that are shared as part of the certification. Like I could take them. I was like, okay, let's do this. And now it's like I have a plan, even though it's maybe not as straightforward as we would wish to. I have a plan, and I feel very equipped to go in there and kind of make my mark and create it in a way that is sustainable going forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you are very, very inspiring, your drive and your determination. And it's something, you know, we say at the very, very start, yes, we can support you. Yes, we can provide you with resources that will absolutely put you years ahead of where you'd be if you try to do this on your own. Yes, we have a supportive community, all that lovely stuff, but essentially we cannot do the work for you. You are someone who shows up consistently for yourself, invested in your future, and I'm just thrilled for you. You're a wonderful example of a certified OBM student, and you know, certified OBM, you're just fantastic. What would you say to anyone who's considering doing the program but maybe still on the fence?
And we said we're gonna keep it real, so
yes, keep it real. Yeah, absolutely.
Keep it real. So this is a high level certification. And I mean, I'm come from corporate consulting, so I allow myself to say I know what high, like really high demanding certification means. Yeah. So you really are getting educated in order to take on a leadership role in a company going forward. So having said that, it's a great opportunity. We get everything we need, and with your additional support, you know, help us go over the line and reach those milestones as we go along. Yeah. And I'd like to say, people that are thinking of doing it, they should really, during the time of the certification, be able to put aside a couple of hours, because it's not a sprint. It is a marathon. It's going to require a couple of hours every week, and then there are particular projects that are quite intense, and you might have to put things on a pause in your life in order to get this done, which is like, but going back, it feels to me, you know, kind of a university course, so to say, where you really have to put your priorities. You have like a certification where you have to deliver. But also for me, I feel very confident. It's not one of those courses where you actually pay for your certificate just by paying for the course. You really have to earn it. And if you are having the resources to put in there and you're willing to go for this extra mile, this is a great opportunity. Yeah.
I mean, that is keeping it real, Diana. That is so well said. I appreciate that very, very, very much. Diana, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with me here today, for keeping it real. I am so excited for your future. I am so proud of you, your achievements, and I am really looking forward to what happens for you next. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you.